Thank you for tuning in to our second series of Breadcrumbs podcast with me, your host, Barbara Smith. Gather around with your little ones because it's kids' story time. Hello, boys and girls, moms and dads, all of you out there in the big wide world. Thank you for joining us today for our story time. I wanted to tell you today that we should always think twice before we react. Sometimes we might think something is happening and you might be misunderstanding. You might not want to get mad so quickly or to strike out and hit someone or be mean to your sister or brother or someone at school so quickly because you might not know the whole story. You want to not just always lean on your first reaction, but stop and think about it a minute. And also that goes for us being mad or lashing out at our parents too. And it also can apply to our parents as well. The Bible tells us that we should not lean to our own understanding, but in all of our ways we should acknowledge the Lord, and He will guide us in the right path. I'm going to tell you a story today about Henny Penny and her friends. Well, Henny Penny in the old barnyard was sitting and just lazily having a good old nap under the oak tree one day, and all of a sudden a big old acorn just went smack right on the top of her head, and poor old Henny Penny, she did not like that at all. She didn't know what had happened, and she panicked. And she said, "Oh no, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. What are we going to do? I must go tell the king that the sky is falling." So she went on her journey, began her journey to go and tell the king that the sky was falling. And as she walked along, she came across Goosey Lucy, who was sitting pecking at her feathers. Goosey Lucy was just pecking at her feathers. After all, this was the afternoon nap time, and she was just having a good old rest. And she said, "Where are you going, Henny Penny?" Henny Penny said, "I'm going to tell the king that the sky is falling." And she said, "Oh, that sounds so exciting. Could I go with you?" And Henny Penny said, "Oh, yes, come along." And so away they began to walk. And they began to walk, and they began to walk. And they came across Rooster Wooster. Rooster Wooster? And he was just sitting on the fence, minding his own business, doing his cock-a-doodle-doos in the afternoon. And he said, "Where are you going, Henny Penny and Goosey Lucy?" They told him, "We're going to tell the king that the sky is falling." He said, "Oh, how fascinating." He said, "May I come along?" And so they said, "Sure, you can come along." So Henny Penny, Goosey Lucy, and Rooster Wooster went on their merry way to try to find the king. And they went along, and they went along, and they went along until they came across Turkey Lurkey. Oh, Turkey Lurkey was just pecking around in the grass for worms, just picking around, just enjoying his afternoon, looking for worms. A mouthful, he said, "Henny Penny, Goosey Lucy, Rooster Wooster, where in the world are you going?" And they said, "We are going to find the king and tell him that the sky is falling." She said, "Oh my goodness, the sky is falling. Can I come along with you to tell the king?" And Henny Penny and Goosey Lucy and Rooster Wooster said to Turkey Lurkey, "Sure, you can come with us." And so she did. Along they went, along they went, along they went till they came to the pond where Ducky Daddles was just blowing little bubbles in the little shallow pond, relaxing on that afternoon. And Ducky Daddles said, "Where are you going, Henny Penny, Goosey Lucy, Rooster Wooster, and Turkey Lurkey?" They said, "We're going to find the king. We've got to tell him that the sky is falling." And Ducky Daddles said, "Well, this water sure feels good, but could I go along with you? That sounds so exciting." And they said, "Sure, you can come with us." And along they went. They walked, and they meandered, and they went along, just pacing themselves on this quiet afternoon to go to try to find the king, until they came across Foxy Loxy in the way. Foxy Loxy said, "Henny Penny, Loosey Goosey, Rooster Wooster, Turkey Lurkey, Ducky Daddles, where are you all going?" Henny Penny said, "We're going to see the king. We are going to tell him that the sky is falling." Foxy Loxy was a tricky one. He said, "Oh, that's so exciting. Could I come along?" They said, "Oh, yes, you sure can." He said, "But you are going the wrong way. That is not the way to the king's palace. Come with me. I will show you the way." They thought nothing of it. It was a quiet afternoon. Foxy Loxy seemed like he knew what he was doing, so they followed him. Henny Penny, Goosey Loosey, Rooster Wooster, Turkey Lurkey, and Ducky Daddles all followed Foxy Loxy until they came to a certain spot, and Foxy Loxy said, "We can take a shortcut. We can go down through this way and around the corner, and we'll be there quicker than ever." They didn't think anything of it, but he was tricking them. They didn't know it because they were not thinking about it. So Foxy Loxy said, "Come on down." First one to go into the hole was Ducky Daddles. Ducky Daddles went down into the hole, and lo and behold, it was Foxy Loxy's own den. And he went chomp chomp, and he ate Ducky Daddles all up. Second one to go down into the hole was Turkey Lurkey, and yum, 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 yum. He was gone in just a mouthful. Delicious. The next one to go down was Rooster Wooster. He went down into the hole and he was gone. Next, with curiosity, Goosey Loosey stuck her head in, and as she stuck her long neck in, Foxy Loxy grabbed her, pulled her in, and went tromp, 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 tromp. About that time, Henny Penny peeked into the hole and heard that chomping, heard that mouth going yum, yum, yum. And she turned around as fast as her little chicken legs could carry her, and she ran all the way back to the barnyard to sit under her oak tree. She never did get to see the king and tell the king that the sky was falling. Foxy Loxy tricked them all except Henny Penny, because he knew that the oak tree drops acorns all the time. He had probably been hit on the head with one too. But Henny Penny just reacted too quickly, and that cost her a lot of her friends' lives. They all got eaten up by tricky Foxy Loxy. Henny Penny learned her lesson. She will not react quickly again. She will be very slow to speak. Listen more and speak less. Don't react and don't be angry with your friends or your family or people at school, because you might not know the whole situation. So always stop first and think about it before you act. You guys have a wonderful day until we see you again. Bye-bye. Thank you for stopping by. That's all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your friends. Until next time, bye-bye.